on one more person. Okay. So we might be just a few minutes late. I just want to give you guys an update.
Thank you.
I know these things never run late, so you're not used to anything like that.
So, yeah.
Man, so the twins are looking at college.
feel like wasn't watching me. I would have been so, because it was like, it was just all blowing out. I was super happy. Small wings, man. Life was all about small wings. Just because the wind about 15 hours of window film. I mean, they were exactly that. Again, happy seconds and happy moments in your home like they're not how you're driving around.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome. We're really grateful you're here this morning. My name is Mark Karstead. I'm the Public Information Officer for DVS, Driver and Vehicle Services. I'm really excited to introduce our first speaker right now, Commissioner Bob Jacobson.
Hey, good morning. And thank you all for being with us today. Appreciate it very much. There are many times when I'm before you talking about our public safety efforts as the commissioner. Today, I'm here to celebrate an evolution in communicating, one that will connect our residents in ways we simply haven't seen before this DVS language project. You're about to hear some details of a language project launched by the Division of Driver and Vehicle Services that allows our Spanish, Hmong, and Somali-speaking residents to use their home languages to ask our department for help. Our goal at the Department of Public Safety is to treat those who come to us for services with dignity and respect. We recognize English is not the primary language for some Minnesotans. And with this tool that we're announcing today, we will be better able to support these Minnesotans using their primary language. You will hear today how we are working with the community to get this project right. They are helping us to understand the main services that they use, the nuances of their language, and in turn reminding us all of the importance of inclusion. This project, launched with the help of Google, starts with a typing function, a chatbot, and in turn a chatbot in English, Spanish, Hmong, and Somali languages. The intent is for this to evolve into voice recognition and eventually the ability to speak back to our residents in their respective languages. This is simply another example of Driver and Vehicle Services Division, the Department of Public Safety, and the state of how we are working together to better serve all Minnesotans. I want to recognize a few people who are here today with our agency that have been extremely helpful. Assistant Commissioner Tim Lino, our Community Affairs Director Nicole Archibald, and CBTO Pancho Henderson. Thank you and your teams for all the good work that went into this months-long project. This project is proof that when good ideas come to reality, they can really impact thousands of lives. And thank you to Google and Insight, our primary development partners. And in such a large part, thank you to our next speaker, Commissioner Thoms for a minute. Quite obviously, this project could not have happened without the help of you and your team. The state is grateful for your partnership. So our next speaker will be Commissioner Thoms. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Tarek Tomes, and I am the Commissioner for Minnesota IT Services and the Chief Information Officer for the state of Minnesota. Thank you, Commissioner Jacobson, for the introduction, and really want to congratulate the DPS, the Department of Public Safety, the Driver and Vehicle Services team, the stakeholders, really your larger team, all of the community members that engaged to make this possible, to really create a mechanism for people to connect with government services in a different way and in a very meaningful way. When we can use technology to be a digital connector of people, we create closer communities, and we connect closer to the people that we serve, and we understand better how the services that we provide should continue to evolve. And in this case, innovative technology used responsibly that brings the ability to speak in languages that the diversity of our community members and citizens throughout Minnesota hope to see to engage with the services that we provide is brought to us via a really fast unfolding, tremendous capability that I think we will continue to see in many different ways. We'll continue to aspire to use technology to address inequities or to address equitable availability of services, to connect with people in the places where they reside on their terms in the languages that are native and comfortable for them, recognizing that throughout Minnesota we speak many, many different languages. And so a really huge congratulations, Commissioner, to you and your team and the many community members that have helped shape what this looks like and have provided feedback to help improve. And inevitably, we will continue to need that stakeholder engagement to continue to evolve what is happening here together with our vendor partners. Huge congratulations and thank you to Google and the vendor partners that are responsible and helped create this capability. With that, I'd like to pass it over to Pong Jung.
All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Pong Zhang, and I have the honor of serving as the Driver and Vehicle Services Division Director. I want to also start by thanking all those involved, the team, the project team, our partners, DPS partners, and our external agency partners. This has been a culmination of countless hours, years of planning and preparation, and we just couldn't be happier with the rollout today. I also want to especially recognize our community members. They have been pivotal. That feedback that they've provided has been pivotal to the development of the tool, and it's already made changes and enhancements to the tool. We look forward to continuing that engagement with community members as we refine and enhance the tool. The DVS Virtual Assistant is a chatbot, is a smart chatbot that's on our website. You can find it at drive.mn.gov. And in the bottom right-hand corner is a little chat icon that's labeled help. And if it's your first time going to the chatbot, what you're going to see is an option to select 4 languages, either English, Hmong, Somali, or Spanish. And then from there, you're going to have a conversational flow of trying to navigate DVS services. You know, what's great about the virtual assistant is that it gets smarter the more it's used. And even within that first conversation, as it's going through the conversation, it's tracking all the content that's being put into it. And for the customer, for yourself, as you're navigating that, what that means for you is even if you're not really quite sure where you want to go or where you're trying to, what information you're trying to get, you and the assistant together will get to where you need to throughout that conversation. Holistically, the more customers that interact with the virtual assistant, what we're going to see is a broader development of the verbiage and the language choice of the dialects used here in Minnesota. And that's going to make the chatbot even better and make it more Minnesotan. I don't know if the chatbot will get to a point where it gives you a don't you know, but maybe, there's a maybe. For now, the chatbot is only text, and like the commissioner mentioned, we are looking forward to bringing in speech to the tool. We recognize that speech is is pivotal or critical to navigating some services, as we know that some Minnesotans really need to use speech to interact and are not proficient in reading and writing in languages. And with that, I also want to share just a personal story as a member of the Hmong community. This tool has made me feel like I am a part of One Minnesota. My parents immigrated to the United States in 1981, and I think as children of immigrants, we're seen to as the resident experts for all things American, including navigating government services. I've personally translated hundreds of documents for my parents and for relatives, and while I think my parents appreciate that, I think one of the things that that creates is that as a new American, you do feel very small when you can't do things on your own. What this tool does now is it allows for Minnesotans to independently interact with DVS, and I think that's one step in the right direction for our communities. We're incredibly proud of the tool, and we're looking forward to enhancements and further development. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to Nicole Archibald, our Director of Community Affairs.
Thank you. My name is Nicole Archibald. I'm the Community Affairs Director for the Department of Public Safety, and my role here is to lead public engagement that ensures that voices are heard and that concerns are turned into action. And the work of public engagement was new to the Department of Public Safety in 2019. So for the last few years, I've been working with driver and vehicle services and divisions across the agency to meet the community where they are and to hear what their concerns are and how our services really impact their daily lives. So since then, our Division of Driver and Vehicle Services has implemented a number of enhancements that reflect what we heard from community. So they've expanded hours of service and days of service where services are available. You can make online appointments. You can do a lot of things online that wasn't possible before 2019. And this language access project came out of that public engagement and that listening. And so the experiences that our customers have really matter. And I think this is an example across state government, from technology to the customer service in the front counters that are going to be able to share this tool with folks that might be having challenges communicating what they need. So by working together with our partners, like the Office of New Americans and Assistant Commissioner Mohammed and former Assistant Commissioner Anissa Haji Mumin, they really have worked with us side by side for the last couple years to get to help us make that feedback and those connections with agencies and organizations and advocates who have brought forward a lot of concerns about the impact that a lack of access has had. So looking ahead, we really want our customers to use this product and to give us the feedback. There's a button when you're working your way through there that you can click feedback and provide us some insight there. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Assistant Commissioner Mohammed from the Office of New Americans.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Abdi Wahab Mohammed. I serve as an Assistant Commissioner at the Department of Employment and Economic Development. I focus on Office of New Americans. This is an office that was created to increase accessibility of state resources for New Americans. I want to start by thanking Commissioner Jacobson, Commissioner Thoms, Director Zhang, amazing Nicole, who's working a lot with the communities and working with our office. This is a great project that could be replicated across state enterprise, an inclusivity project. But I want to zoom out a little bit and talk about what our office does and how this is related to, this project is related to the work that we're doing. We talk about things like addressing the labor shortages in the state, which is one of the major things that now the legislator in their wisdom was trying to address. And some of the money that's coming out to different agencies need that coordination to know that if the New Americans are also part of the conversation, or inclusivity is done through all agencies. So language access is one of the biggest issues that comes up from the communities when we seek, input. That yes, I can speak some English, but it's not my first language. And when I'm dealing with technical issues, like for example doing a test or that kind of thing, if I could get my first language, which is different than English, it would be much better than speaking the little English or the limited English that I do and taking the test and that. So this goes a long way to say that it really helps to put safety, public safety, and development for the new Americans into perspective. We talk about labor shortage, but then a lot of the issues that we're facing is transportation. Businesses that are outside the metro area having hard time recruiting from the immigrant communities because they're not even able to get to that place, and maybe there's no public transportation. See, so all this plays a major role in just increasing that opportunities for new Americans, and that's why I have been honored to work with Nicole and Assistant Commissioner Lino and the rest of the team to really to drive this project that is so needed in our state in the midst of the labor shortage that we're trying to address. The other issues that we're talking about is as Director Zhang said, digital equity. If someone cannot type or use technology and they can get voice recognition, so that's some of the things that, for example, this technology brings in that could be expanded and more services to be added as you seek input from the community. So generally excited about this. I was really waiting for this, and I'm happy to be part of this. Thank you so much. With that, I will welcome an amazing community member who's actually maybe have accessed the technology and will say a few words. Yasmin.
Thank you. There is a Somali proverb that goes, "Akli la'an wa aftin la'an," and that translates to, "Without knowledge, there is no light." The difficulty with being a new immigrant and arriving in a place that feels alien and trying to empower yourself to get the resources to do the things you need to do can be incredibly difficult. My family immigrated to the States in 2006, and from the age of 12 until then, I was helping my mother navigate getting her permit and get her license, and without knowing English and having the resources to do these necessary things, it became incredibly difficult for her. This is a story that many Minnesota residents share, and I'm incredibly excited for the virtual assistant because it's a step forward in digital equity and a chance for us to move together as a state without leaving anyone behind. My experience with bringing the virtual assistant to my relatives has been really, really exciting for me. Seeing the light and the smiles that come to their faces when they see that the state is including them in the conversation and making a space for them to be heard really makes me feel like I'm doing something important and that they are a part of a larger imagination of what our state can become. Resources are important. It's important to be able to access them, not only if you speak English, but if you speak a multitude of languages. We respect diversity across many, many folds of our society. We respect the food, the cultures, and the many diverse enclaves that we have in our city, and it's important that we include that in the resources that we provide to constituents. And as a community member, for me, I think that this virtual assistant is an amazing step to move forward to, and I want to take a moment to encourage everyone in the Somali, the Hmong, and the Spanish-speaking and English second language speaking community to take advantage of this resource and to empower themselves to gain access to driving and any other resources that they feel. Thank you.
It's making me smile. Just opening up for questions. If any media particularly have questions, if you know who you want to ask the question of, please ask directly of their name. And before you ask the question, could you please state your name and what media outlet you're with?
Tim Harlow with the Star Tribune. First of all, I just want to make sure this is free.
Yes.
And
Well, yes, it is free.
And I noticed in here that there are some numbers about total conversations. So is today the official rollout and these were beta testers, or what do these numbers mean?
Let Director Zhang answer.
Thank you for that question. So yes, these we rolled out the product into production earlier last month, and the idea was to get it out there and work out some kinks before we made a public launch. The number of users that you've identified already, those are folks who just came to the website and are naturally got to the chatbot, which is great, which means that it's really in the right place, and it's doing what it needs to do to attract that attention. We hope, though, with this release and with this information sharing today, that we're going to see an increased usage of that, and then and further development of the chatbot.
So if I were to type in the word driver's license, what would this chat lead me to?
Well, you can try it out right now if you want to see what it says. The idea is that it's gonna ask you questions. It's gonna try to prompt you to get you to where you need to go. And so, starting with a question or with an action that you want to achieve is really going to be the ideal navigation for that.
So it's meant to be more efficient than me just trying to hunt through your website and trying to find a page where it talks about how to get a driver's license?
Exactly. And we know that there's lots of opportunity for us to develop the website and make it more intuitive to use. The chatbot is going to get you to all the data that DVS provides in a really easy to use manner.
Yasmin?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. You've used the chatbot?
I have, yes.
What do you think about the user friendliness? Was it easy to navigate? Or was it easy to navigate for your folks?
So for sure. So for me, when I brought the virtual assistant to my family, they were really amazed that at first, like, it has options for common questions. So it's not necessarily wondering, okay, what is available to me? What options are available through the DVS website? It's not hunting for these resources, which is, really difficult if you don't speak English, and incredibly difficult as well if you do speak English, right? Because it's a process of like hide and seek of sorts. But for them, seeing that this was available and seeing that a permit, a license, these were options that they could find right away, and that the virtual assistant had like pre-assigned resources that they could click on and not have to exit the chat to do this was really important for them. And as folks who have they have jobs and they have they're supporting families and doing this while not knowing the common language, so this really cut down on the time efficiencies for them, so they were able to do this in a time that felt like it wasn't taking too much of their resources.
Can I ask, had they tried to access the online portals before without success or limited success, or did you see, did the light bulb click on for them?
Yeah, so in the past, before there was a virtual assistant, it was essentially them just coming to me and being like, be our eyes and ears. And that can be really difficult, because at the age of 12, you don't really know much about driving or anything like that. So for them, they felt like they weren't being patronized, like they felt empowered, and that they as adults could go and do this on their own without having to seek the help of someone who was younger than them, which isn't always bad, but you want to feel like you're in control, and that really puts the power in their hands, I think. So, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes.
Yeah, Mitch here with Monk TV. I was just curious, how user-friendly is it? I mean, for a lot of folks in the Monk community, I know it's hard for them to even, get on to a website and navigate and looking for things. How user-friendly is it for them?
Thanks, Mitch. Yeah, so I can speak specifically for the Hmong translation. This is the first time ever we've seen Hmong in a kind of a smart chatbot like this, and that newness does make it a little bit difficult. I think one of the big challenges with Hmong specifically is that there aren't common or agreed upon terms for different things, like a paved road or like changing lanes, or like even hitting a signal. Those common phrases are really kind of accepted in various forms, and so what we're trying to do with the chatbot is when they get to it, it's presenting them with the translation that we think makes sense, But I think what will help is that as they navigate it, as they use the chatbot, and they provide feedback, we're going to really be able to refine that and use language that is maybe more commonly shared and accepted. And one of the things that we're trying to do specifically with Hmong is mixing in some English or phonetic English into the translation. So even if it doesn't quite make sense, that if you can see the English version of it, folks can connect the dot. It definitely isn't perfect, and we acknowledge that. We're still incredibly proud of the work we're doing with it, and that we are very hopeful that it's going to get to a place where it is much more easy to understand. In terms of the flow of it, we're very happy with the functionality of it and the flow. We think it is intuitive, but we continue to look for that feedback. And if customers are seeing that it's not quite the way that navigating the way they like, there's an opportunity for them to provide that feedback. And where we have a plan in place to constantly make changes and improve the virtual assistant.
Are there plans to add more languages?
Thank you. Yeah, there is the plan to add more languages. We are still working out how we proceed in that fashion. We really want to make these first set of languages, we want to learn as much as we can from these first set of languages before we start adding more languages. But that is absolutely in the works, and we're very excited about increasing the usage across Minnesota.
Tim Zelnick with KSTP. Did the driver's license for all bill have anything to do with this, or were they just happened to line up as a coincidence?
It's a happy coincidence. It's a very happy coincidence. And so we definitely see this as a tool that our non-English speaking community is going to be able to rely on to learn about the process, to learn about the different steps, and also to access the multilingual resources that DVS does provide on the website. So there's multiple tests tests are available in multiple languages. So there's, and we have the study guides, the manuals are available in multiple languages as well. So all of it is connected, and it's a very happy coincidence. So.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up and allow people to get some food in their tummy, because it sounds like it's getting to be lunchtime. Good. Thank you very much for attending. If you have any follow-up questions, please let us know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I bet.
Yeah.